The views expressed and the opinions given by the individual host and their guests do not necessarily reflect those of Para-X, its affiliates, or its sponsors.
The Paranormal View. The Paranormal View. The Paranormal View. Time now for the Paranormal View. The Paranormal View on the Para-X Radio Network with your host, Henry Foister, Craig Rupp, and Jeffrey Gould. The Paranormal View.
Welcome, everybody, to the Paranormal View right here on the Para-X Radio Network. And hopefully everything is working okay tonight because I'm doing this on my laptop. So if for some reason I'm not loud enough or you can't hear me real good, just let me know and we'll work on the sound a little bit more. So, but I want to thank everybody for being here with us tonight, and those who are listening from around the world. We appreciate each and every one. It's been another great week, and can't wait to get things started. We have a great guest tonight, and she has been on before a few times, and everybody really likes her, so that should really be good. Jeffrey is with us here in the chat room, and I'm going to be trying to get him into the chat if I can ever get this thing to work a little bit later and figure out how to do this new Skype. But until then, we have Craig with us tonight.
Hello, everybody.
And our guest, special guest, Kat Klockow. Welcome, Kat.
I'm back.
Welcome.
I think the third time's the charm now?
Yes, you've been on this makes about the third time, but
Yeah.
we'll enjoy it. So I guess if you have questions tonight, you can private chat them to Craig or Jeff or myself, and we'll get them right over. Should be a real fun time tonight. It's going to be just laid back. I'm sure that everybody has dealt with the heat this week. Oh, man, has it been hot, too. But now that the weekend is here, it's cooled off just a mite. Not much, but just a mite. And
speak for yourself. We get your weather a day late, Henry, so I guess I have something to look forward to tomorrow. What you're telling me?
Yeah, well, I do know that it yesterday rain blew in from the north, and then it bypassed us, and it went back and around to Cincinnati and below, so we actually didn't get any of it. I think I had 4 or 5 sprinkles on the window, and that was about it. But it has cooled it off just a little. I think it made it in the high 80s. So, welcome everybody to the Paranormal View, and with that, and with our guest Kat, which I do want to thank you for taking the time to be with us again on kind of like a short notice. We had some scheduling issues, and we really appreciate her taking the time to be with us. So. You've been real busy and doing some other things, and we'll get into all those here in just a little bit.
Okay.
Kat is the author of a book called Haunted Hoosier Halls, and you've been doing some other adventures, you might say. You're also working on some other, I guess, like a cartoon. What is that?
Graphic novels.
Right. And you'll be able to tell them all about that in just a little bit, too. And you're supposed to be working also on some more of the haunted college campus books.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Right now I'm working with Schiffer on figuring out just what we're going to do, so I can't really talk a whole lot about that yet.
Okay.
Not until I'm really 100% sure.
Well, there goes the other half of my questions, Henry.
I'm so sorry, Greg.
That's
just
okay.
shooting
I'm
them
kidding,
down
Kat.
left and
I'm
right.
kidding, Kat.
No,
You're
you can ask
you're
me.
tired. You're tired. We
You're good.
understand.
The reason Kat is tired is last night you went somewhere, and I guess you were lucky enough to be able to go to a place that a lot of people would like to go, and that we've all heard about, but not all of us has been lucky enough to be able to go there, and that's Mansfield.
Yes.
Now,
A little reformatory in Central Ohio.
So, when you first got there, did it look scary to you when you first seen it?
It's intimidating is, I think, a good word for it, because you see it on all those paranormal shows, and you're like, wow, that's a nice little castle-looking thing, and you drive up to it, and it's 7 stories tall, and it's, I think, an eighth of a mile from one end of the cell block to the other side, and it's just this behemoth of a building, and suddenly you're just like, oh wow, I'm going to be in here for the next 8 hours. This is going to rock.
My thoughts exactly.
Yes. So
Yes.
I've actually been there twice. I was there last June, in June of 2010, and I just got back from my second evening in the reformatory just about an hour ago or so.
Oh,
So, yeah, excuse me, I don't
wow.
have pictures up on anything. It's just, I just basically blew in like the wind, and
Can you tell us any experiences that you had there, or any cool EVPs that you got while you were there?
from my first, well, I didn't get any EVPs from last year, but I got lots of real-time audio. Right, I didn't capture it on record, but my team and I heard a lot of stuff. To go back to last year's ghost hunt there, I was in both visits. I was with the Indiana Ghost Trackers, the entire organization. Certain people have that weekend off, and we all go and investigate Mansfield. And last year, I was with a group of women from the South Bend chapter of Indiana Ghost Trackers, and we were in the hole, or solitary confinement, where a warden had been beaten to death in 1932. And we were just asking questions, and there was 5 of us in the group. We were all women, and suddenly we could hear the very audible weeping of a man in a jail cell. And there was a woman who is a sensitive who claimed that it was actually the warden who had been beaten to death who was crying in the cell.
Wow, that's crazy.
It's one of the few times I've ever had anything talk to me, or be audible in real time, not just a recording that I listened to days or sometimes weeks later. The second time I heard anything in real time was last night, and it scared the bejesus out of me.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
Well, before you let us know what that is, I'm going to see if this will work, and if I can call Jeffrey in. So let's see what this will work.
Left us on a cliffhanger.
I know it. 2 ringy dingies.
Hello.
Is that Mr. Jeffrey?
That it is.
Yay!
All right.
Hey, Jeff.
Hooray.
And look.
Oh, excellent. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah. Not
Good. Okay.
Not too much.
I'm listening to the chat room, and there's such a delay because I'm listening to the Mansfield information. I'm like, oh, all of a sudden the phone is ringing. And it must be Henry. Hooray.
Well, Kat was just getting ready to tell us of one of the things that happened to her up at Mansfield. So I'm going to let you go ahead and continue with that. And Jeff will probably have a ton of questions then.
Yeah, all I heard right now was the probable warden crying in the jail cell.
Yep. So, going on with last night, we were yet again in the hole, and we are actually in the sub-basement, the original hole, when the reformatory was opened in 1896, because the new hole, or new solitary confinement, was built later. So as I'm descending the staircase, and there's a group of curious ghost hunters watching me go down the staircase, we all hear an auditory growl of, like, it sounded like a deep dog, like like that. And I just stopped mid-staircase and turned and looked at everyone at the top of the staircase. And one of the women had one of those real-time microphones that amplifies all the sounds, and she was white. And so were some of the people standing at the top of the staircase. And I'm like, I'm going to wait a second. I marched myself back upstairs, calmed myself down, and then went downstairs. I didn't hear anything auditory until a bat came and attacked my head.
A bat?
Oh, jeez.
The bat obviously was not the thing that made the growling noise. They squeak. But we think, and I'm trying to remember, I think there is a demon named Oscar that haunts Mansfield Reformatory, or is said to haunt it. And I may be thinking of the wrong place, however. Do you guys remember?
I don't remember.
No, I sure don't. Just a second. I've got to try and call Jeff back in because the call got dropped. And so it'll only take a second here for him to answer.
Oscar Jack Hoff, Mansfield Reformatory. Or is that... Hello?
All right. Hello, Mr. Jeff.
Yeah, I just got up to her being allegedly attacked by a bat, meaning she was panicking and the poor thing was like all scared.
Oh no, I didn't panic. I dropped to the ground, turned off my flashlight, and shuffled my bum out of that room.
Oh, that would have been awesome for me. I love bats.
Oh, I do too. But I don't want them in my hair. But
Well, it's
I'm
not
a
like
girl like
you have a 1950s bouffant beehive going straight up by 3 feet, do you?
no, I had
don't
my
have to worry.
braids because my hair is 3 feet long. It's 3 feet of red hair. It's blooming hot outside. It was 86 outside. It felt like 106 inside the reformatory last night. So I had my hair put up in braids and done kind of Princess Leia style on my head, so that bat could easily fly into that mess. So it was almost like a bouffant.
And it would try and make a nest.
Yeah, I could have had a bat nest in my hair.
Well,
Started in
technically,
fashion.
their sonar would actually, the only way they could really land on you is if you were like moving around. They couldn't figure out how to get around you. They would just go bonk, like, here.
Well, that could be. I just know the name of the game last night, besides ghost hunting, was dodging the bats coming at us. Because no matter where we went, mostly in the warden's offices, the warden and the vice wardens, those living areas, those were filled with bats. And we would sit in there, we'd be doing EVP, and then hear this wham! And it would be a bat coming at us, either for an insect attracted to our flashlight, or somebody shrieked and it woke it up. And that was an adventure.
And they're so tiny. I mean, if they're up actually hanging on a wall, it's really tough to see them because they're about the size of little dust bunnies.
Yeah.
One of my favorite things is watching a bat swoop at people through the night vision. They can't see it, but you can. It's hilarious.
What is it? The bat swooping down hilarious, or is it the people trying to duck out of the way hilarious?
Both, because it's pitch black. They don't know what it is, but they can feel the wind, and they're like, "Ooh, what is that?" And it's just, I watched for 5-10 minutes one night. It was hilarious.
So, how dark was it in Mansfield?
It was actually not that dark because you have the working prison behind it, which there's a lot of ambient light that streams through the windows, especially in the chapel. You would think it'd be really dark, but it really isn't because of that prison. And then in the front of Mansfield, they have so many lamps on, just highlighting Mansfield from, I think it's Route 30. You can see this building from there. So there's always ambient light coming in, which makes it very interesting when you see the shadow people walk around, especially in the West Cell block.
So you did get to see shadow people walking?
Yes. Mansfield's one of the few places that I've seen shadow people consecutively whenever I visit. And this time it was a bit creepier because we were walking through the West Cell block and I look up at the higher tiers and I could see people looking over the edge at us.
Really?
Kind of a la St. Augustine Lighthouse from one of those shows. It was just like, oh, look, we're being watched. And as we walked through the east cell block, we had hands grabbing out for us. And in one case, one of the members of my team did get grabbed, and so did I, but on a staircase.
Ooh, wow.
Wow.
So you actually got touched too.
Yeah, the back of my shirt got grabbed, actually pretty well tugged, as I was going up to the library, which isn't a great place to get grabbed because you can lose your balance and fall backwards down the stairs, and you fall down if like a flight of stairs is never fun.
So
yeah, especially when the grab is more like a "Come join us, come join
us." Yes.
How many tiers were there in the cell block?
The West Cell block has 4 tiers, and the East Cell block has 6, which makes the East Cell block of Mansfield Reformatory the largest freestanding steel cell block in the world. And you walk in, and it's intimidating, to use that word again. And
apparently the warden has lots of tiers. Oh wait, that's just a different kind of.
Yeah, but oh man, yeah, it's 6 floors of cells, and they could have held. Oh man, I'm not good with numbers, and I'm trying to give you an estimated population. They basically held. There were 600 blocks. They were supposed to, or 600 cells. They were supposed to hold 1,200 people, but they usually held 1,800 to 2,000 people in that one cell block alone.
Wow.
So, could you imagine the amount of men they would be grabbing, there would be limbs coming out of those cell blocks every which way.
Oh, yeah.
Just for space.
Yeah. And
they'd bang their cups against the prison door to get attention from the security guards, and it would have been loud all the time in there.
But how horrible is it to be dead and a ghost and still in a jail cell? I mean, ouch. That's ugh.
All I have to say is that must suck. Can I say that? It
Sure.
would have to be the biggest travesty. Yeah, it's just, think about it. You die, you think, I'm free, and you come back and you're like, oh, shnikes, I'm still here. Everything looks a little different. What is this woman doing, poking and sitting on my bed?
But at least you can wait until they can grab at a few nice ghost investigators, especially when they're women.
Yeah, that's true.
Now, did you go with a particular group, or how many people was actually doing the investigation last night?
Well, I was with Indiana Ghost Trackers, and there was 32 people, I believe, on this particular investigation, and we broke up into 4 teams. And in my team, there was 7 of us, 2 men and 5 women. So, which was interesting because one of the men is a security officer himself. So when I've been experimenting with dowsing rods and trying to get information via the old 19th century way of ghost hunting. The history of ghost hunting I've become rather interested in at the moment. So I've been using dowsing rods and bells and Irish wind chimes, trying to collect data with methods that don't use electricity and see what happens and correlate them with people who are using the modern devices. And yeah, the using the dowsing rods, we got a lot of information, and I'm hoping that the recordings from our digital recorders will turn up more chatty ghosts that way.
Oh, great.
Now, I was typing, do you use a pendulum at all?
I have not used a pendulum yet. I haven't been really taught how. But I use a set of aluminum dowsing rods that used to be tent stakes.
Used to be tent stakes?
Mm-hmm. It's the most bizarre story. I know most people get dowsing rods off of some of the ghost stores that you have, and they'll be made out of brass or copper. These are a set of tent stakes that are about a foot long, foot and 1/4 long, and they are very heavy. They're a very odd pair of dowsing rods because aluminum does not conduct electricity. They're very heavy. Technically, you shouldn't be getting a whole lot of information from them, but I've been pretty getting a lot of information from using them in the past 2 investigation or ghost hunts I've been doing with them.
Neat then. That's...
Yeah, I know some.
Go ahead.
Some people, that's all they use. They won't use the recorders, all the gadgets. They'll stay with the simple tools and get great results.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've been rather happy with them. I actually was introduced to them with Henry at the ghost hunt we did in April with Bob.
And he was using Ryan's.
Them. Yeah. And how I got the pair that I have now is I was with Indiana Ghost Trackers, their Bloomington, Indiana chapter, who I worked with when writing Haunted Hoosier Hall's Indiana University. And we were investigating a haunted house attraction that is in Seymour, Indiana. And we're taking the tour, and there's this set of tent stakes just lying out in the grass in the middle of, I'm going to say it's in the, I just forgot what it's called. It's just a big grassy area in the middle of the haunted house attraction that's used to separate different sections of the haunted house. And the manager did not know where these tent stakes came from. They hadn't been there earlier. They just kind of apparated there. So I asked if I could use them, and he said, sure, take them. They're not mine.
So, I just want to remind everybody, if you do have questions, private chat them to Jeffrey, Craig, or myself, and we'll get them right over to Kat. If you are listening from somewhere around the world and you're not here in the chat room with us, you can do so by coming over to para-x.com and click on the live chat button at the top of the page, and you'll be right in here with all these wonderful people. You can interact with us and with them, and you'll be able to ask questions. Really appreciate that. I know we're already booming right on past, looks like. But one of the questions, how long were you able to investigate last night?
We walked in at 7 was when we were allowed on the premises. They gave us a guided tour since so many of our team and the investigators that were there last night were new to the location. I was of a handful of people that actually had been there before. And it's a big building. It's easy to get lost. So we formally started at 9 p.m. and I left there at 4 a.m. and then went and crashed in my hotel room. So 9.
So,
I was there for 7 hours.
So you get pretty good length of time in there then.
Yeah.
How long did you have, like, how many different sections were there that you had to investigate in?
There's, I'm bringing up the map right now. There is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different areas where you can investigate, which you have the West Diagonal Wing, which is solitary confinement, the whole, both modern and the old one. There's the East Diagonal Wing, which you can go through, but there isn't much there. It's pretty much gutted. It used to be the kitchen and the bakery, and they don't have much activity there. You have the central area that includes the chapel and what's known as the tuberculosis ward. You have both the west and east cell blocks, and then the shower wings on both of those. And then you have the west and east warden's quarters, which is where a lot of the Shawshank Redemption was actually filmed. So, and now they have all these handy plaques saying where in the film you are standing in. So what set they used it for, which is kind of neat.
Yeah.
That's a new addition that I thought was very cool.
Now, with all the different people that was there, and it was in different areas, were you picking up anything like from them? I mean, was there any contamination going on?
Not really. The most that you can get contamination from was when the two groups, what our groups did was we were in the west cell block, another group would be in the east cell block, and then one group would be on the west side of the warden's offices, and then another group would be on the east side. And the only time we would really get to contaminating each other's evidence is if we started converging in the central part. So let's say both teams started out the far wings of their area and worked inwards. Once you got to the central area is probably the only time you would see somebody or hear them. In the case with the cell blocks, though, they're separated by a glass partition, which is the central block, the welcoming area. That central block is actually 5 stories tall and includes the tuberculosis center and the chapel. The bullpen, which is the central area for the investigators, is where you can get food and coffee, and there's where modern restroom facilities are located. And then you have the central block, which is one of the few air-conditioned areas of the building, and it's all glassed in because they use it for reception centers or reception sites for weddings. I thought that was interesting. And it's also where parts of the film Air Force One were filmed. So they have big portraits of Russian dignitaries painted on the walls. But because that's all glassed in, it's almost impossible to get sound from one cell block to the other unless you're both on the ground floor. I hope that made sense there.
So you're saying people choose to get married in this place?
Yes, they do. I'm going to assume they're either really big ghost hunting fans, really big fans of Shawshank Redemption, or really big fans of Air Force One.
Okay. And the other is, I spent my childhood here, so...
I don't know.
I don't remember that in Air Force One. Looks like the DVD's coming out after the show.
Yeah.
So you indicated that this abandoned area is actually still part on the property of a working prison?
Yes. Actually, the working prison is on the property of the old reformatory. It's kind of... eye-opening to realize how close in proximity one is when you're in Mansfield. You are actually within meters of two working prisons. One is a medium security prison, the other one is a high security prison, which houses the 40 worst criminals that can't be even put on death row. They are so bad.
Wow.
And they're only a few meters away from Mansfield. They're all on the same property.
Wow.
So when they told us that, I was like, I hope no one escapes because they're going to run into Mansfield because it's a maze, and I don't want to be on the news for that reason. I don't want to just accidentally be walking down a cell block and find the escapee hiding in one of the east cell blocks on like the 4th tier or something. So,
Well,
but yeah, sorry.
our time is run right on up to break time, and we're going to take a quick break, and we'll come back here with Kat in just a few minutes. I do want to let everybody know that I was at the Black Cat Lounge the other night, and with Tim, and after he done his show, we was just sitting around and having a drink there, and we was listening to his the people play music in there, and I'm going to play one of the songs that they did in there. So it's one of Tim's, you might say. But I think, Craig, we're going to let you take us out on break, and then we'll be back in about 8 minutes or something like that. So.
Okay, I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. You're listening to the Paranormal View with Kat Klockow on the ParaX Radio Network. We'll be right back.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Paranormal View right here on the ParaX Radio Network. Appreciate everybody being here tonight. There's probably a couple million people listening from around the world. Do want to thank those who are. We got people listening from the U.S., the U.K., Australia, and Finland. And I want to thank everybody and all those that are here in the chat room with us. So no matter where you're listening from, if you're not here in the chat room with us, come on over to para-x.com. Click on the live chat button at the top of the page, and you'll be right in here with all these wonderful people. Tonight we got Kat Klockow with us, and we got Craig Rupp and Jeffrey Gould. I want to thank everybody, especially Kat, for being with us tonight.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
And we've been talking about Mansfield, and there's lots more to talk about. So we're just going to jump right back on into it. And if you do have questions, private chat to Craig, Jeff, or myself, and we'll get them right over to Kat. I think with Mansfield, with what you did last night and everything, would you recommend it for people to go there?
Oh, yeah. Oh, definitely. It is constantly active with stuff. I've just told you some of the experiences that I had there, and between the two investigations that I've done of this location. And it's fantastic. I know some people will sometimes be kind of 50-50 on Waverly Hills, but I've never heard anyone disappointed with Mansfield Reformatory at all.
Well, Dave, that sounds like another road trip. Are we ready for that one?
I'm disappointed with both because I haven't been to either.
I've never been to Waverly Hills, and I live like not too far away from it, about an hour and a half.
Yeah, about that.
Are you serious?
Yeah, she lives in Cincinnati.
I'm serious.
She
I'm
probably
like
lives
in Gettysburg 4 times a week, and that's 3.5 hours.
Well, she's probably about a half hour.
People who live in New York and they just never actually go to the Empire State Building. Like, it's right over there.
Well, I can't find anyone to go with.
Well, if I ever go down there again, I'll let you know. How's that sound?
Oh, that sounds like a plan. Woohoo! Yes. And I've never been to Gettysburg or any battlefield.
When
Well, that's Craig's second home, so.
When we go over there, I'll let you know that too.
I'm so sorry. I'm a failure.
Anytime you want to go, Kat.
Yay! I think it's a 10-hour drive from here, but I'm willing to do it.
Oh, that's nothing. Once you get there, you're not going to want to leave.
Gettysburg is nice, but I haven't never been there to actually investigate. So I do plan on doing it sometime soon.
Kat, pick Henry up on the way over.
Oh, will do. Not far away from me.
No.
Just as long as it's not at the creepy big boy again.
Oh. Well, I can't help if you got lost.
No. That was my fault. That was completely my fault. But that was the scariest thing ever.
They make this cool little thing now, Kat. You put in your windshield. It's called a GPS.
That's what she was using.
Oh,
It
really? And it
misled
got
me.
you lost?
It misled me so badly. Yes.
Oh. I'll
Yeah.
shut my
It was
mouth
a-
then.
I think she turned right when she was supposed to turn left.
Exactly.
She found the Frisch's, but it wasn't the right one.
Yes. Here in Cincinnati, they're kind of everywhere. So there was 2 on the same route. So, oops.
So,
And for those of you who did not hear the last time I was on the show, I accidentally went to the wrong Frisch's Big Boy when I was meeting Henry for a ghost event. And the Frisch's, I walk in and there are a bunch of people who simultaneously, from looking at their dishes, look at me standing in the entranceway. It was freaky. If they had all black eyes, I think I would have died of fright.
the black-eyed kids.
Yes, but these would be black-eyed adults of various ages, but... Oh. Speaking of the black-eyed kids, I had my own experience with one last week.
With last
Yeah,
week?
really?
All right.
Yes.
Seriously?
I put it up on Facebook, and absolutely no one cared. It was just like, yay.
I did not even see it. If I had seen it, you should have linked it to me because I've got an entire page dedicated to the BDKs on my my website.
Oh.
So yeah, now you're gonna have to send me the link to that.
Oh,
Is that
yeah.
in your galleries or what?
Yeah, I can tell you the story. It's just levels of creepy. And I have a big imagination, and this just blew me out of the water with what happened here. So, my house is 103 years old. I've heard we have a ghost cat in here. We hear lots of stories about black-eyed kids, and I know a lot of radio shows are really starting to pick these up. And I've heard about them on and off for the past decade. And was last Wednesday. I wake up regularly at 2 in the morning. This time I happened to wake up at 4 in the morning because something smelled so bad it actually brought me out of a dream. And I remember the dream that I was having. That sounds kind of like Inception, but anyway. And I know a lot of people are going, yes, Kat, your husband probably farted, and that's what you smelled, which is a natural reaction. So I look over at Mike, and he's my husband, he's sleeping, and I look over to check what time it was on my nightstand, and there is a black-eyed child standing right next to the bed, next to my nightstand, staring at me with a huge Cheshire cat grin on.
Were you kind of waking your husband up then?
No. I look at it, and I'm like, go away. I'm sleeping. And I roll over. But it was what was making the smell, and the room was cold. It felt like a ghostly apparition with smell-o-vision. The smell. It was decomp. It was flesh decomp, because I used to in the anthropology building, when I went to classes, there would be the lab where they would take all the flesh off, deflesh all the bones for specimens, and it smelled exactly like that. And it was, I don't know how it got in my house, and I think I may be the only person who's survived an encounter with them from all the stories that I've heard. But I basically told it to go saw it off.
Now, you wasn't actually dreaming this, right?
I was not dreaming this because I got up after a second because I was like, if you imagine or put yourself in my shoes, you see a person standing next to you in the next to your bed. You roll over because you're kind of disgruntled that something woke you up, and then you realize it's a black-eyed child, and you just fling yourself out of bed and are like, "Oh crap, there was just something very paranormal standing next to me in bed." And I got up and had a drink of water because I couldn't settle my nerves for a few minutes there. So
Well, now, did it just disappear, or?
yeah, it just disappeared like a blink. Like you would see, I guess, in the movies where they would just do a jump cut and it'd be gone.
Uh-huh.
It was strange, and it still has rattled me.
Well,
And it had black eyes. I think it's pronounced scalia, that are the whites of your eyes. Those were white still. It was just the pupils and the iris were very, very black. There was no you couldn't define the difference between the pupil and the iris. And we have a good amount of ambient light in our bedroom because there's a street lamp outside of it. So you could see the form, and it had a bowl cut hairstyle. It looked like it was a boy, and he was wearing oh, I always call it a pauper's outfit. It's like they're wearing a burlap sack.
Right.
Like Dickensian kind of a.
Yeah, like it kind of looked like a child from an extra from like like a Shakespearean play almost with it was all dirty and everything. Wearing the burlap or at least a tan shirt of some sort. I didn't see its legs.
Huh. Well,
So,
now, is that the only time that you've actually seen it?
yeah, that's the first and only time I've ever seen it. And
normally they're not allowed. They're almost got a vampire aspect going that they're not allowed to enter a place without the permission of the people involved. They try to let us in kind of thing.
yeah,
So
and I have on my doors, because I have oh, I'm going to call them wards or charms from Japan up on them. And so technically nothing spiritual should be able to get in my house. So that's why I'm like, how did this thing get in here? Did it hitchhike? From another location I've been to? I thought I always did the Lord's Prayer and kicked out any spiritual hitchhikers I may have. Because I've had a few ride with us in the car coming back from locations. But this is the first time anything's followed us or followed me home to this extent.
Well, have you been kind of afraid that you might wake up and see it again in there?
If I do, it's going to get a shoe to the head, and it's probably going to be a stiletto because I have my shoe rack is near my bed. So I've grown up with ghosts and spirits. I've seen what I think is something like a black-eyed kid when I was younger, but didn't quite realize it. It had the same Cheshire grin, but it was staring at me from outside a window on the second floor. It was actually before I saw the apparition of my grandfather, so this is going to be 7 or 8 years old. It was bedtime. I was closing the windows, the curtains of our windows and the blinds, and I go up to close the blinds of one of the windows that faced our backyard, and there is some floating entity with a Cheshire smile right outside staring in. So And I always kind of dismissed it until we started getting all these stories about black-eyed children. So it now makes me wonder. I did not catch how its eyes were. I was too busy looking at its white grinning teeth.
And they were really, really bright teeth, right?
That's what sticks out in my mind the most in both instances, is that they almost like shark's teeth. They're all jagged and pointy, but they're in that huge, just ear to ear grin. So that, or maybe we have stumbled upon a new phenomenon: the grinning kids.
Woo! Cheshire Cat kids.
Yes, maybe that's what it is. That smell. Very bad.
Well, now, when you were at Mansfield, what area in Mansfield seemed to be the most active to you?
To me, I'm going to say the cell blocks, and really the west cell block and the west diagonal, which is where the solitary confinement is, and some showers. It's where I got growled at last night. It's where we heard the warden weeping last year. We saw the shadow people peering out over the ledge of the tiers, over the fence of the tiers, looking down at us from the levels above. We had people grabbing at us. One of the investigators in my group was grabbed by a hand. Another woman put her hand in one of the cell blocks and felt a head and hair.
Oh, wow.
And I have to say, if you're just putting your hand into a cell block she was just testing the temperature to see if they were any cooler. And she just puts her hand in there and she feels a solid head and hair. And she said it was like, I'm going to say receding hairline kind of. It wasn't a full head of hair. It was maybe an older gentleman. There were no women ever housed at Mansfield Reformatory, by the way. So she put her hand in and she felt a scalp. And she handled that really well. She was just like, oh, I'm touching somebody's head. I was like, okay. So, actually, as an interesting side note, there was no women housed in Mansfield, but there are 2 female ghosts in there.
Really?
So,
Was that like nurses or something had been killed there, or?
One of them, we're not sure. I call her the new gal, and we talked to her, and I say this with quotations, last night using the dowsing rods and a number of yes-no questions. She, according to the sensitive that was in our group, she couldn't identify exactly what she was wearing, the new gal ghost was wearing. She just said it was like a white dress, but couldn't specify a time period with it, which was an interesting point because usually people can. And she seemed, had a relationship with somebody in the prison and didn't really like seeing other women in the prison visiting.
Ah.
And that was an interesting point. The other female ghost, and she's much more well documented, is actually the wife of one of the wardens that was working there in the 1950s. And legend has it, actually not legend, this is fact, she was looking for her church hat one Sunday getting ready for church and accidentally in the closet, and as she's reaching for her hat box, one of the loaded guns of her husband's fell down, discharged, and shot her in the lung. And she died of pneumonia the next day at Mansfield General Hospital. And she has been seen quite frequently on the, that's going to be the east side of the administration building in her old apartment.
Well, now,
That has to be a nasty way to go.
oh, yes.
So,
Now, I know some people say that they even and I don't know about Mansfield, but I mean, some places people pick things up on the outside of locations. Do you know if anything's ever been picked up on the outside of Mansfield?
There is a very popular ghost story among people that live in Mansfield about the woman on Reformatory Road. And Reformatory Road is the road that Mansfield is located on. They're at 100 Reformatory Road. And this woman, I did look up the story of it. This is the legend of Phoebe Wise, and she is a old woman who died during the Great Depression, who has been her apparition has been seen walking down Reformatory Road. She has no connection to Mansfield Reformatory. Her plot of land, which she used to live on, was just beyond it. And during her last days, she would walk down Reformatory Road in order to get water for her house because she didn't have running water. And Phoebe Wise was she was the youngest of 8 children, and her father was a very well-to-do man. When he passed away, the children naturally split up the inheritance. She got her portion of the inheritance and kept the farmhouse. And she basically went crazy from being a hermit. She talked to her dog, she talked to the horses, she would talk to buckets. When she was older, she actually left sticks of dynamite randomly around Mansfield, the city of Mansfield, in wicker baskets. She didn't light them. She just left them around the town. The woman went a little nuts, and she is understandable why, because she had a stalker when she was younger who actually was taken to the big psychiatric hospital in Ohio that's in Toledo, Ohio. And when he got out, he continued to stalk her to the point where she got out her shotgun and shot him dead in front of her door. So I think that would make anyone very leery of going outside their house after such a vicious thing happened to them. She also got, what is it? She was robbed and tortured for her inheritance money, too, by a couple of young 20-somethings.
They've read it in cold blood once too often.
Sorry?
They've read Truman Capote's in cold blood once too often, apparently.
Yeah. Yeah. But before she had the stalker, she actually was robbed and tortured by a band of thieves. And they were all found one way or another later. And they only stole about $500 worth of valuables from her, which that's still a lot when you're looking at the turn of the century and how stuff is inflated, but
Absolutely.
Still, that was all of her life savings. So, and they burned the soles of her feet trying to get the information of where this big treasure was buried of her father's. There was no money, however. The inheritance had been split up, and she lived off of her share. So
Yeah.
I think the thieves only got away with a few pieces of jewelry and whatever cash she had on hand. So, but now her very crazy, cranky ghost is seen hobbling down Reformatory Road, and she walks right past Mansfield Reformatory. She's wearing a Victorian dress with one of those huge hats, like what you would see in like at the Kentucky Raceway, just one of those huge brim hats, and she's bent over. Because she's old, she hobbles down. She has to be the slowest ghost anyone's ever seen on record. Just watching this old woman kind of shuffle down a road, and she disappears around where the pond at Mansfield is, where there's now a turn in the street, and it turns south.
Huh.
So.
Wow. Yeah, her photos kind of a Lizzie Borden kind of feel to them.
Yeah. She was a contemporary, I think, of Lizzie Borden. Yeah.
Now, if people wanted to go to Mansfield,
Mm-hmm.
What is the cost now?
I do not know. I paid $60, I believe. But that may be inflated a bit because we had a group that not all the spots in our group got filled, so we all had to pay a little
A
bit
little bit
extra
extra,
to compensate.
which isn't a bad price, I would say. How
No,
many in your group do they normally supposed to have?
I think they can accommodate up to 100. That is a good
Wow.
question for the Mansfield Reformatory
Okay.
website.
Okay. But
And
still, it's not a bad price. That's a whole lot better than what it is if you go to Waverly.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Think what is that? $100 a person?
It's that or a little more even.
Yeah. I'm looking at their ghost hunts. Um, it's $65 a person now.
Okay. See, that's not bad at all.
No, so no, I must have paid the normal price. But no, not compared to Waverly, where I think you even are given less time. I think you're only given 4 hours.
Something like that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and yeah, this one you get it from 8 p.m. until 5 a.m.
Really? Well, that's not bad at all. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that sounds
Nah.
like then Parax needs to get a whole group together and go to Mansfield.
Oh yeah. And
Dave?
I know the contact person is Scott.
Scott.
Scott?
Scott.
Scott?
Oh, Scott. Hint, hint.
But yeah. And you see him a lot on the paranormal shows. He tends to get interviewed. He's a hoot.
Well, if you don't have any other questions right now about Mansfield, I think what we'll do is we'll take another break, and when we come back, we'll be talking about your book some and some of the other places that you have investigated recently and what kind of evidence you got from those, and any other tidbits that might float around. So I think if you guys got any questions from the chat room, anybody got any other questions right now? Craig?
Surprisingly, nothing
Yeah.
from the chat room. I mean, I have some
No.
for later.
Okay. Well,
I guess they're so enthralled they can't even think of how to verbalize what they're because she's answering all our questions anyway. She's so erudite and well spoken, versatile.
very good. That's true. That's why we like to have her on. We can just ask one or two questions. She can talk 20 minutes.
There
I'm
you go.
so sorry, guys. I have the gift of gab.
No, that's
apparently.
good.
That's
We
good.
love those kind of guests. Can you imagine what it would be like a 2-hour show? Or you're like, so 2 times. That was all right.
But now,
And it's just nothing, you know.
have you guys also noticed tonight Skype is not breaking up? Have you noticed that?
Yeah, you sticking with your laptop, Henry?
Yes, I'm on the laptop, and this is the first time I've done that, and everything seems to be going great with it. So
Yay!
we'll see how
Knock
that
on wood.
works.
I hope it's not implying that my computer might be the problem. But I guess we'll find out next week. Well, no, next week I'm going to be at StuCon. I'm going to be at Linda Vista Hospital next week.
Oh,
You should come out for that, Kat. You should come out to California.
Oh wait, I'm going to be at Prospect Mansion next week in Trinway, Ohio.
Prospect? Is that right? Man,
Oh
you,
yeah,
shout
that
out
was my
California.
first time there.
you're
yeah.
getting to go to all the good places, aren't you?
Yeah, my wallet is crying, but
Oh.
I'm having really interesting experiences.
All right. With that, Jeff, I think you can take us on out if you want to.
Oh, well, everyone, you're listening to the Paranormal View on paraX.com with tonight's erudite guest author, Kat Klockow, regaling us with her enthralling experiences investigating Mansfield Reformatory. So if you're not listening now, you're clearly someplace else. And seriously, that simply won't do.
Be right back. Welcome back, everybody, to the Paranormal View right here on the ParaX Radio Network. Appreciate everybody for listening tonight, no matter where you are listening from. The chat room is just filled with wonderful people. If you're not here with us, come on over to para-x.com, click on the live chat button at the top of the page, and you'll be in with all these wonderful people. You'll be able to interact and ask questions, and you can do that by private chatting either Jeffrey or Craig or myself. And we'll get the questions right over to our guest, Kat Klockow. And
Hello.
we want to welcome her back.
Hi.
And
Welcome back, Kat.
Hi. Can I say something?
Sure.
That stinger for Para-X was awesome.
Which one?
The one that they just used.
Oh.
As a nerd, I find that one it rocked.
I've got some others that you may not have heard. We got one that runs about, I don't know, a little over a minute, I guess. So maybe we'll get a chance to play that one later.
Maybe.
Yeah, who knows? We got lots of time yet. So I think what we'll do now is talk a little bit about some of the other things that you've been doing. Where's some of the other places that you have investigated recently? Because I know you've been pretty busy.
Yeah. The most recent ghost hunt I've been on, besides Mansfield, was a haunted house attraction in Seymour, Indiana. And I'm not a big fan of horror movies or haunted house attractions. I never go into them because they're too gory for me.
Right.
And I was kind of nervous and anxious going into this place. And it turned out to be one of the most remarkable places I've ever visited. We had a lot of shadow person activity. It was one of the first times I used dowsing rods with people around instead of just trying to get them calibrated by myself or with the help of somebody else privately. And it ended up being just remarkable, the amount of information that we got that didn't quite correlate with the history of the location, the land it was on, but could very well be true and has just been kind of not, it was left out of official records. So to explain where we were, the location used to be a military use land. It now is not. However, there is some artifacts from World War II that have been left around the area, and some of the users of those artifacts are still around the area.
Wow.
And I will say my Japanese came in handy for once on a ghost hunt.
That's right. Speaking of Japanese, you do speak Japanese. Why don't you welcome everybody to Para-X in Japanese?
Oh, sure. 皆さん、こんにちは。Parallax Radio で、いらっしゃいませ。よろしくお願いします。
There you go. Just in case we have people listening from Japan.
Yeah. They're probably just laughing at me now, but they're like, oh, look, she's speaking.
No, I understood every word perfectly.
Yeah. They always find me a novelty over there, so.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. I'm short. I'm the height of the average Japanese woman, so other than the fact that I am as pale as a ghost and have red hair, I fit in. So sometimes if somebody's not paying attention, like a cashier, and I walk up and I speak to them, and I speak kind of with the Nagoya accent, Nagoya City accent, but they'll look up at me, and I can't tell you how many times people have jumped in place because they were expecting to see a Japanese person, and there is clearly a white female standing in front of them with very bright green eyes. So it's kind of funny.
But doesn't the Japanese culture have an aversion to extremely white skin? I mean, it essentially represents death.
Not really anymore. I mean, red hair, very
well, I know,
but
sounds like The Grudge. In the Japanese version, they're not bluish. Here they're bluish because that's our culture. But over there, the same actors were done completely white. And apparently in Japanese horror film, that's very scary for them on a cultural level.
When you're buried and cremated, I should say, you're dressed up in white. White is a color of death in Buddhism. So I think that's what that's an extension of.
Well, yeah, but white clothing isn't the same as white flesh.
Well, here's the other funny thing is conversely, in beauty, women want to be as pale as possible. They actually sell skin whitening products to make you look as pale as possible. And I know this because my host mom used to use it. So, and I would go shopping with her. And it'd be Shiseido is a brand over there. It's kind of like Clinique. And some people may have seen it in their local department stores too, because it's here in America. But it's a skin whitening product. It's to get rid of freckles, or it's not to get rid of a sunburn, but it's to gradually lighten your skin as a beauty statement. So in folklore, white skin may be a marker of death, but if you're quite obviously a living person, it's actually something that I've been praised about, is having this ghostly pale complexion. People have actually come up to me and started stroking my arms, which is really creepy, by the way. And they comment and they're like, "Oh, you have such beautiful skin." And I'll be like, "Thank you. Stop stroking me." So anyway, okay, so where were we again? Oh, Japanese.
Yeah, you lost me on that one over here. That's a whole new meaning.
The haunted house attraction. So getting back to that, with the Japanese, so using the dowsing rods and using EVP, and we also used a K2 meter and I just forgot, a Gauss meter. We measured EMF. We did an entire sweep of this place, and the manager turned off all electricity source power except for one grid, and we just avoided that room because all the mannequins were still on. So if you walked through, they would start screaming and flailing around, and it scared me. I walked in, of course. In our group, they make me go first because they're like, "Well, Kat's not afraid of anything." And she can go. And I walk in, and it's a motion detection. I trigger it, and two dummies just start screaming and flailing around. And I screamed like a girl, and I tried to run out of the room, the opposite direction, because it scared me. And they're all bloody and everything, so it was scary.
Yeah.
But
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying, besides that one grid, which is an area that we avoided because of audio contamination, obviously, we investigated the actors' hallway, and staff had seen shadow people and a ghost walking up and down this hallway, and myself and two other members of our team actually saw a shadow person at different times of our investigation walk down the hallway. I saw it almost right off the bat when we started investigating. We were in a group doing an EVP session, and I just looked down the hallway, and there is something staring at us, peeking around a corner. And as soon as I noticed, it was there for about a minute, and then I said something, and it just ducked back into this crawl space. As soon as I acknowledged it was there, it was just like, "Oh, I'm done. I'm going to go back hide in whatever shadow I was in."
Well, did you run down and try and see where it went to?
We did. I couldn't immediately get through because I would have run over my investigating friends because I was on the opposite side of the group. But I did take a few members, and we went down there to go see what was there, and there was nothing. And later on in the evening, two other members saw a shadow person standing next to one of their emergency exits. So, and the shadow person, I guess, just appeared at the exit door and then just kind of faded into the night.
Wow.
Yeah.
That
So
would, I always hated haunted houses like that. And I don't mean haunted houses, but I mean the ones at Halloween where they try and scare you. I just never did care for those things.
Yeah, I can't watch any horror movies. I've tried to watch like Trolls or Pumpkin Face, the Saw series. I can't stand. I can watch the Japanese ones because they're more like what is they're not gory. Some of them aren't gory. Like they're
Like Mothra and Godzilla.
well, yeah, those are fun. Those are monster movies. Those are fun. Um I just forgot the word, and you were just complimenting me on how well I can speak on radio. I just
You're tired. We're gonna cut you a break.
yeah, it isn't a gore movie. It's suspense. It's a suspense film. There we go. So that's why I like those movies, like The Ring or the original Grudge. It's like a really, really twisted Sherlock Holmes, trying to figure out how these ghosts are attacking people and why. That's what I liked about those movies.
Now, I know that before we actually got on the air, Craig was sitting there saying how he had a ton of questions about your book. And so I think it's time that maybe he tries to ask some of those questions because we haven't even got into that yet.
Is that right, Henry?
Yeah.
All right. Well, actually, my first question is about your comic that you have, The 9 Lives of Maggie Monroe.
Oh, yes.
Who or what was the inspiration behind that?
9 Lives of Maggie Monroe is something I've been working on since 2006, and it was inspired by a dream I had. And a lot of my comics, the original thesis of the comic, are all based off of the most bizarre dreams that I wake up, remember, and immediately write down. And this is one of them. And it's based off of urban legends, actually. Each major chapter is based off of a different urban legend. The one that's going on now is Crybaby Bridges. And the next one is about black-eyed kids, actually. Which
okay.
I haven't actually started writing or illustrating anything for that story arc yet. It's been just shoved in the back burner. So maybe I saw a black-eyed kid. You'll definitely see what I saw standing next to my bed in the comic. I'm drawing that sucker. He was creepy.
Yeah, I figured.
I was going to say, because some of your artwork in your book is pictures that you've done.
Yes, I've
which are very well.
Yeah.
I love the little picture of us three. I posted that today. That was great.
Yeah, that was posted on Facebook. If you haven't got to see it, go. Have you got it up on the Paranormal View website or the page there on Facebook?
I have it on her. I don't know if it's on the Paranormal View Facebook page, but I'll put it there if it isn't. But it's on her February page, and I guess I can stick it on today's page.
Well, good.
And I put it up on mine today.
Yeah, I liked it on Facebook. It's fun liking your own art that somebody else has posted.
It's good.
Yeah.
It's really, really talented. And your book, Haunted Hoosier Halls, Indiana University, some of the stories in there are just fantastic. I wanted to ask you about Whispers Estate and the Gibbons family. And is that now still a bed and breakfast that you can actually stay in?
You can actually stay in it. It is open, like Mansfield Reformatory is open for overnight stays. Van Rayner, I'm hoping I'm pronouncing his last name correctly, owns it, and he opens it up every single weekend for people to come visit. And he's changed his price structure a few times, so I'm not sure what it costs right now to go visit, but you can have the entire run of the house for one night or 2 nights. I really suggest doing the entire weekend because these ghosts start off small and they ramp it up. And by the time you are at Saturday night or early Sunday morning, you have things crying at you. You have things being thrown. You have apparitions walking down the hallway. these are some of the most active spirits I've encountered, and they're very talkative, especially on digital recorders. Some of the best EVP that I have are from an interview of Van for the book, and in the course of an hour, I have 7 different EVPs.
Wow,
So,
that's awesome.
And
Now,
yeah.
do you think that's because the children died under? Now, I know the little girl got burnt and
Mhm.
supposedly was overdosed, but the son died like what was it, like 2 days later?
It was a
It's
few years
all
later.
mysterious. Oh, a few years
Yeah.
later. Okay.
Yeah. The Gibbons family is shrouded in a lot of mystery. Um, their van is still actively piecing together the history of this house. So even some of the information in the book is now a little bit outdated because they've discovered graves in the grave markers in the back yard that had been hidden. They have found more history of the house that Van hasn't gone into a lot of detail with me yet about it, but he's been very busy. Um, let's see. The Rachel and Ennis, which were the set of siblings that were said to have been adopted at the turn of the century by the Gibbons, they have no official record of ever existing, which I find very interesting. But this is such a specific story to only this house that it had to have been started by some grain of truth. What's interesting is that you get conflicting reports from people that live around Whispers Estate in Mitchell, Indiana, stating that the story is completely true, or you have members of the family that used to own the house after the Gibbons no longer owned it that say no, the stories are fake. Nothing like that ever happened. There are no ghosts in that house. I don't know where they came from. So it runs the gamut of being one of the most haunted places in the United States, as what Travel Channel has stated, or if you believe the old families that have lived there, there's not a ghost to be seen in that house.
so have you been there?
I've been there 3 times. Yes. And
And you got some good evidence there.
yeah, I have never seen an apparition in the house. However, people that I've investigated with will swear they have seen the apparition of Rachel, who is about an 8-year-old girl. She's the one who unfortunately met her demise being caught on fire um, and succumbing to disease, infection on Christmas Day of 1912 is usually the date given. Some people say 1902, some people say 1908. Um, I've never seen Rachel, but I've heard her and Ennis running up and down the staircase. And like I've mentioned, my house is roughly the same age as a decade younger than Whispers Estate is. It has hardwood floors. My husband has wood or leather soled shoes very similar to those that would have been used back in the turn of the century on children's shoes or anybody's shoes. And I know what the sound of hard soles on wood sounds like. And I had little kids running up and down the staircase around 3 in the morning with their hard soled shoes on. And as soon as I looked up to acknowledge that they were there and that I knew they were there, it stopped in the mid staircase, which is ironically, or interestingly enough, the same place where a footprint of a young child's foot has been taken in flour by a paranormal team. I'm going to say around 2002,
Hmm.
and it's
Have
hmm?
has anyone set up motion detection cameras and such, or?
Yes, Van right now has a whole bunch of cameras going on, and I'm trying to remember which group it is, and I don't want to accidentally give the wrong group um who recorded it, but somebody had a motion detector going and attached to a camera, and there's the what's known as the servants' quarters, which is the back quarter of the second floor. It's just where the servants for the Gibbons family would have lived. And this particular team stationed 2 cameras, one in front of the door and one behind the door, that separated the servants' quarters from the family's living quarters. And motion detectors went off at the exact same time, and it shows a shadow walking to and fro in front of this door.
Wow. Now,
Yeah.
Did they have any of that up on the web anywhere that you could go and see?
Yeah, if you go to YouTube and Google Whispers Estate, there's a plethora of videos and audio footage that you can find from all sorts of different teams from around Indiana or the Midwest who have come to visit. I can't guarantee all of them are authentic, mind you, but they're all very interesting to watch or listen to.
And that's Whispers Estate?
Mm-hmm.
And where's that located at in Indiana?
Mitchell, Indiana.
Mitchell, Indiana.
It's about 3 hours south of Indianapolis and an hour and a half north of Louisville, Kentucky.
Now, is that just a regular house now, or you said it was bed and breakfast?
It had been used as a bed and breakfast by the former owner. Van now, he uses it as a normal house, though I think he lives there all the time now.
But he opens
There's
it
somebody
up?
there all the time. It's kind of like it's a private residence open for ghost hunts.
Wow.
Is basically what it is. It
Yeah.
is the ultimate ghost hunters pledge to their hobby. They bought a haunted house to let other people ghost hunt in it.
Well, that's pretty interesting, though. What do they charge to do that?
I'm not quite sure what he has as a pricing structure, but because he keeps changing it.
Right.
But I'll find whispersestates.com. State. You can find them on .net. You can find them on Facebook. I'm also putting the link in the chat room. It's whispersestate.net, and that is where he's going to keep all the current information. And I believe he has some EVP up there.
All right. We'll definitely have to be checking that out then.
Mm-hmm. It's a very interesting house. Oh, and there's my book reference on the page.
Aw.
Yes.
So, Craig, I know you got more questions. Jeff?
Well,
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, two more, Jeff, and I'll let you have the floor. Henry's talked about this place a lot, the Crump Theater. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
I love the Crump Theater. It is a tragic story in the Midwest, but it is an opera house that was built in 1872 or 1874. It depends on who you're using as a resource, if you believe the newspaper or private records. Beautiful opera house built by the Crump family. And it has become very dilapidated, but still usable. So there used to be a big hole in the roof, which was great, but with the bat problem they had. But it is another very active place that I've been to, that I've been poked in the back, in the basement there, by some unknown force. I was there for a paranormal convention that they had in Indiana, and I was listening to one of the ghost guides giving the stories about what's happened in the basement and who haunts it. And there were participants behind me listening, and I get poked in the back, and naturally you would assume that it was probably somebody behind me. And I turn around, kind of glaring at them, going, "Why are you poking me?" And all 3 of them were white. And they said they had watched the back of my hoodie indent like a thumb imprint in my shoulder blade, which is where I was poked. And they couldn't explain it. Immediately they started taking pictures of my back.
Wow.
Yeah. It was just like, this is not flattering, guys, but
And
okay.
that was in the basement?
That's in the basement, and that particular area is said to be the haunt of a young actress who no one really knows how she met her demise, but she has hung around the Crump Theater. and people believe she comes from the vaudeville era, so she's been there for a while. The other very active spirit in that theater that seems to be the main spirit is a man with a hat. There's actually two ghosts that wear hats in this theater. One is a African American gentleman, and he is up in the higher parts of the balcony. I'll get to him in a minute. And the other one is a Caucasian gentleman who wears a bowler hat. And he has been seen. There's a picture in my book that it's a very small black and white photo. You can see this reflection a lot better in the colorful size version, but you can clearly see a man with a bowler cap staring at the person taking the picture of this mirror in the reflection. And Flash was used for this. However, you know, when you take a picture of a mirror, you'll have the bright bulb area where the light is hitting the mirror and penetrating it. Usually people who see false positives will see reflections in that area, but this is in a completely different area of the mirror. It's above and to the left. And you see this face, you see his neck and his shoulders and his hat. And it's quite detailed, and it's not in white, like the reflective color would be white. It's in black outlines, dark shadows. So that seems a little odd, and we call it a photographic anomaly in the book. He's been witnessed by lots of people. Different paranormal groups have gotten recordings of him. I know MREPA, which is a paranormal group here in Indiana, Midwest Researchers and Investigators of Paranormal Activity, or MREPA for short. I worked with them writing the book, but they have this fantastic, and if you go to their YouTube channel, they had this fantastic apparition of a man who is this white silhouette just appear out of nowhere, walk to a seat and sit down in it. And it's so clear. And I know the team. I know they haven't fudged anything. It's a remarkable piece of evidence.
And where was that taken at?
That was in the balcony, the lower balcony area.
Mm-hmm.
In the higher balcony area was where the segregated seating was for the colored members of the audience. And it is now used, it's blocked off now and is used as storage. Because this is going to be somewhat southern Indiana. There was segregation, unfortunately, into the 20th century. And there is a very nice gentleman who is African American. He wears a brown suit. He also wears a hat. He wears a fedora. Who likes to make himself known by either banging the AC ducts that are up there. He has pulled one of my friend's hair and played with it to the point, you know how you can have static cling with a balloon? Her hair was standing, just one piece of her hair, she had fairly chin-length hair, was just hovering over her head like somebody had been playing with it. And there's, let's see, a lot of people hear rain in that particular area of the building, even though it won't be raining outside. Then you get a lot of different EVPs of a man talking. And he seems to, whenever somebody who's a skeptic goes up there and says, "Oh, I don't think this place is haunted," the man in the fedora hat will do something to make his presence known.
Wow.
Like kick him in the butt or something? Or?
No, usually raps on the AC unit or will make a piece of lumber fall down. Not on the person, just move it. No one's ever been physically harmed by anybody in any spirits in the Crump Theater, but they've been scared pretty well. I know there's a story of the female spirit in the basement scared an electrician who had been brought in to look over the electric wiring of the basement to make sure it was to code. And she appeared to him, and he went flying up the stairs up to where oh his boss and the current manager of the Crump Theater had been talking on the stage, and he comes flying out of stage right out of the basement and saying there was a girl down there and it scared him, and he wasn't going down there anymore, and everything was up to code. So, but the spirits there seem to really be trying to help keep the Crump going, because they, you know how you'll have stories of ghosts that take things away, like objects will move or people will things will go missing. These ghosts retrieve objects, such as all of the paperwork for the furnace and the boiler to make sure they were up to code. The manager could not find them, and she left the Crump Theater one night just completely confuddled as to where these documents went, because they weren't in the files, they wasn't in the drawers, it wasn't in the safe. She couldn't find them. The next day she finds them sitting in the middle of the stage, neatly put into a folder.
Oh.
And they can't figure out how that happened, because she knows she was the only person there. She was the last person to lock up. No one could get in. And what kind of intruder would find documents and put them in the middle of a stage? It's just very strange. So.
Well, there's a magazine in England called Fortean Times that reports weird news, and there are things of burglars who will go into someone's home, rearrange all the furniture, not take anything, and leave.
Oh, that sounds fun.
Things like that. Did you get both your questions answered, Craig?
No, my last one is not really a question. It is, Kat, you're lucky this is a family-oriented show because you got me on this one story, and I will just say it's about two college roommates back in the 60s, and I was reading it, and I felt so sorry for these two, and then I get to the part, thankfully, this tale is just that, a tale.
Mm-hmm.
You know which one I'm talking about?
Yes, the McNutt Hatchet Man.
Yes, I felt so bad for those two.
Oh yes, it's known as the tale of the roommate, and it's a very popular urban legend motif story. You'll find it at just about every single campus. At least one dormitory will have the tale of the roommate, and there's variations, a lot of them to fit the atmosphere at the school. But yeah, it's not fun to have a story of somebody getting brutally hacked up to death.
No, no, it was good. It was good. You reeled me in.
Oh,
but here in Pennsylvania, I find a lot of the colleges have hangings or a girl jumping to her death from like the fourth floor stairways. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of that here in PA.
Mm-hmm. We have one similar to the jumping from the stairwell in Reed Dormitory at IU, and it's supposed to be a residual haunting of an old resident assistant, an RA, and it's supposed to happen on December 12th of every year. This spirit of a female is supposed to be seen flinging herself down the 6th floor staircase, and you can hear her shrieks and everything. But you can't. The story doesn't explain which staircase out of 4 6th floor staircases this ghost is supposed to be appearing at. And I have waited for midnight on December 12th in one of the staircases, and nothing happened.
I got to ask, you're the only one?
Whoa. One at a time, guys. One at a time.
I think Jeff and I had the same question. Were you the only one there, or were there others waiting?
No, there was others. One of my friends lived on the 6th floor, and I lived in apartments across the street from this dormitory, and the students that live on the 6th floor, those are all individual rooms, and they are it's only really allowed for upperclassmen who generally are able to drive, so they can stay in the dormitory longer than the younger underclassmen that live on the lower floors. So we were being cool seniors waiting for the ghost of the RA at midnight.
I think what Craig and I were both interested in is if you had more than you, why weren't all 4 staircases covered? One in each stairwell. Looking up.
Not that many people are interested in it, I guess. But what is creepy is people have had ghostly experiences on the 6th floor, but not with that ghost. There is a shadow man that walks from room to room, and I think it's I just forgot how it's pronounced. Landis. I'd never lived actually in that dorm. Landis wing. One of my friends who was a fellow Japanese major with me, she lived on the 6th floor and woke up one morning to somebody using the restroom that connected 2 rooms together in a suite. However, she had no suite mate. That second floor or that second room was completely locked up, and she was the only one with access to the bathroom, and she could hear somebody taking a shower.
Wow.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
Did she get up? Did she get up and go in there and see if it was wet?
Yeah, she did. She investigated it, and at the time, a lot of people came to me with their weird paranormal stories, and she told me about that. And then another night, she woke up with a shadow person standing at in her doorway to the hallway, and that's been reported in numerous different rooms on the 6th floor. And it's not necessarily on the Landis wing. It could be in any of the 4 wings. So no one knows exactly how this is connected to Reed Dormitory, since no one has died in that dormitory. The only students ever killed on campus were in Eigenmann Dormitory in 1992.
That anyone found out about.
Yeah, that's true.
Guys, our time is just kind of flown right on by. Well, you got a question? Go ahead.
Yes, I've been waiting for days, and Craig's just
Craig,
been
that's
actually
Craig's
speaking,
fault.
so I'll wait. I just
Yeah.
Kat, considering your predilection for urban legends, what happened to urbanlegendsdetective.com?
Okay, so I'm in a transitional period here. We have closed urbanlegendsdetective.com purely because there wasn't a lot of traffic. It's a very long title. People were constantly messing. They couldn't type it in right. We are moving to huntforghosts.com.
What's it called? Hot for Ghosts?
Oh yeah, Hot for Ghosts.
Hot or hunt?
It's the sexiest place for the paranormal. No, it's Hunt for Ghosts.
Hunt for Ghosts.
Hunt.
Have you already got that up, or are you still?
We're still
in the
working
process?
on it.
Okay.
We just got the domain name. So if anybody Googled it right now, you'll just see like Time Warner Cable
Right, something like
message
that.
saying this domain is being hosted by whatever. But it should be up next week. And what it is, it's integrating a new comic that I'm doing called How to Hunt for Ghosts, which is very much like a Sherlock Holmes story. It's a time era, Edwardian Victorian era ghost hunter using all sorts of strange gadgets that we would see normally today, but engineered in a very steampunk way a century ago. And I don't know if you know about the steampunk subgenre or anything. So it's a steampunk ghost hunting adventure. And I'm hosting it on huntforghosts.com, but I'm also putting all of the information about my adventures ghost hunting, and I want to start getting readers to submit their paranormal experiences and urban legends. And it's just going to be one big hub for comics and paranormal nerdiness.
Excellent. Well, you have to let us know when you get that site up, and then we'll post it and let everybody know about it also.
Oh, I will.
And as always, we're going to want you to stay on after we get off, and we'll chat with you.
Oh, no problem.
We we've got Kat Klockow with us tonight, wonderful guest. And I'm sure that we'll be having her back on before long because of all the other things that she's going to be doing. And Craig can have some more questions by then.
Absolutely. You know I will, Henry. I'm still trying to figure out why you guys keep me around.
Because you're good, Craig.
That guy we had on about 3 or 4 weeks ago talked more than I've talked since I've started.
Well, like I say, our time's just been zooming right on by. I think what we're going to do now is give Kat a chance to tell us where you can get her books and her sites and everything about her that's going on.
Okay, awesome. So all you listeners out there, you can head on over to Amazon.com and search for Haunted Hoosier Halls, Indiana University by Kat Klockow, and buy it and please rate it. I would love to see the feedback from you guys. Also, you can see me at a few different paranormal conventions this year. I will be at the Paranormal Meet and Greet at the Haunted Hannah House in Indianapolis, and that is August 13th. It is a free event, and it is awesome. I will be at the Mid-South Paranormal Convention in Louisville, Kentucky, which is August 26th to the 28th, known as the Granddaddy of Paranormal Conventions. This will be my first time. I am super excited, and I would really love to see all of your happy paranormal nerdiness faces there.
Now, are you going to be speaking there?
I will not be speaking.
You're
Unfortunately, I won't be speaking at any of these events. No one wants to give me a microphone, apparently. I don't know why.
Are you going down for all 3 days or just down one day? Or
No, I'll be there all weekend.
Oh, will you?
Mm-hmm.
I might have to end up going down there.
Yay! It will be fun. I'm really looking forward to it because I'm a big fan of a lot of the different guests and stuff, like the Tim and Trish Yancey. I listen to their show, so I'm excited to see them there. The last place I'll be is the Chicago Ghost Conference, and this is September 30th to October 1st in Chicago, Illinois. And I believe that website for it is chicagohauntings.com. You can Google Chicago Ghost Conference. You'll find it. I know 2 of the guests are Jeff Belanger, the writer and historian for the Ghost Adventures, and Darkness Dave Schrader of Darkness Radio and the Paranormal Challenge on the Travel Channel.
Well, you're going to be in Paranormal Challenge.
When am I?
Oh, I thought that's what you just said, sorry.
No, I wish I was. But I think Beth wasn't she, not too long ago?
Yes, was.
She's
Beth
one of the
was on
judges.
Yeah, I missed the second episode, but I saw her on the first one.
And go ahead.
Oh, no, that was it. I'll also have a vendor booth, and I'll be there all weekend. And if people really are interested, we can also go look for fun restaurants to eat at in Chicago.
Okay. Excellent. Food.
I like food.
Yeah. Just let everybody know that on November 5th, we will have the group Epic, the all-female group that just won the Waverly Paranormal Challenge. They will be on with us November the 5th, I believe it is.
Oh, neat.
So they'll be on. And coming up next week, we will be live at the Crump, broadcasting our show along with Parax Vision. The week after that, we'll be doing another live show, but I won't be at it, and that'll be at the Red Mill. Craig's going to be over there, and he'll be talking to all the people and broadcasting there for us. So we'll all be kind of like there in spirit anyway.
I am looking forward to that.
Yes. And with that, you can go to the paranormalview.com. You can see all our bios and different things like that, and plus listen to some of our podcasts. And Jeff, I'm going to let you real quick, give out all the other websites so people can jump to them. But before we do that, Kat, if they missed any of the websites or anything like that, Can they go to your Facebook page and get all that info?
Oh, yeah. Go do it. It's just facebook.com/Kat Klockow.
There you go. All right. Go ahead, Jeff.
I was just going to say, my website is jeffgould.net, GEOFFREFFGOULD.net/2011PNV, which will bring you up to the Paranormal View website aspect of my page. I'll flip that for a person, don't worry. Paranormal View also has its own Facebook page, and I like to put a report on each of the shows we do. While they're at the Crump Theater next week, I'll be at the StuCon at the Linda Vista Hospital, which will be fun. That's something you should come out and do, Kat. Linda Vista Hospital is awesome. We're running low on time, so I'm just gonna listen to our podcasts. They're all over the 2011 pnv.htm page and on each of the report pages. So thank you very much for listening.
All right. With that, Henry Foister,
Craig Rupp,
Jeffrey Gould.
And we will see you next week at the same time. So join us then.
We're leaving. We're gone. Paranormal View. Come back and visit us again if you dare. You've been listening to the Paranormal View on the Para X Radio Network.